Okay, good morning, all of you.
Good morning.
How are you all? Fine.
Fine.
Fine. Okay. Okay. Answer your attendance. Afla, Ajmina,
Present, ma'am.
Amaya,
Present, ma'am.
Atulya,
Present, ma'am.
Drishya,
Present, ma'am.
Jyotish, Karthik,
Present, ma'am.
Kavya,
Present, ma'am.
Nachiket,
Present, ma'am.
Neeraj, Rangeet,
Present.
Vaishnav,
Present, ma'am.
Anjali, and Shruti.
Present, ma'am.
Afla is present.
Yes, Miss, I'm present.
Yes, present. Okay. So, whoever is coming late, just answer Jyotish, Shipu, Neeraj, Vaishna, and Anjali. If you are joining, I mean, let me take the attendance at the last also. Okay. Now, did you read the textbook? Yes or no? Neeraj is not there, right? Okay. Karthik, did you read the textbook? Yes or no?
നോക്കി
No.
നോക്കിയിട്ടില്ല.
നോക്കിയിട്ടില്ല.
PPT ഇല്ലേ, പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് നോട്ട് ചെയ്തതേ ഉള്ളൂ.
ഉള്ളൂ. Why?
PPT
The
പ്രസന്റ്
PDF I
ചെയ്യുന്ന
have sent, you know?
നോക്കാൻ സമയം കിട്ടിയിട്ടില്ല.
നോക്കാൻ സമയം കിട്ടിയില്ല. അതെന്താ? ഭയങ്കര ബിസി ആണോ?
ബിസിയല്ല, ഇത് ക്ലാസ് കഴിഞ്ഞ് പിന്നെ ഫുഡെല്ലാം കഴിച്ച് നോക്കുമ്പോ നേരെ ചെറിയ വർക്കെല്ലാം ഉണ്ടോ ഏത് എല്ലാം നോക്കുമ്പോ.
എന്നാലും കുറച്ച് സമയം ഇരുന്ന് പഠിക്കണ്ടേ കുഞ്ഞെ? കാരണം ക്ലാസ് അങ്ങ് എടുത്ത് പോകും. നിങ്ങളത് ഫോളോ അപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല എങ്കിൽ വളരെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടായിരിക്കും.
ബാക്കിയെല്ലാം നോക്കലുണ്ട്, എല്ലാം നോക്കലുണ്ട്.
എന്തോ
എല്ലാം നോക്കലുണ്ട് മിസ്സേ.
എല്ലാം നോക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. Okay, so you have to, because in the Friday vere class under Saturday Sunday you refresh the things what you have learned last week, I mean that week. Then only you will be able to cope up with the subject. Otherwise teachers will be going on taking and it will be difficult for you to follow the thing. Okay, now so we will start the class. So last class what we have learned actually,
point and multi-point.
Yeah, we were dealing with networks, right? The basic concepts of network. We have seen what are the three criteria that determine the network to be an efficient and effective. What are the three parameters? What are the three criteria a network depends on? A network's efficiency depends on? Yes?
Performance, reliability, security.
Reliability and security. Right. Okay. So those were the three criteria that determines, or I can tell the network is an efficient or an effective one based on the three criteria what I told. And then we have studied the type of connections. What are the different types of connections available? How the devices are connected on a link.
Point
Neeraj
and
is
multi-point.
there. Neeraj, answer it. Neeraj, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Answer. What are the different line configurations possible in a network?
Line configuration.
Louder.
Point to point.
Point to point. And?
Multi-point.
Multi-point. Now, what do you mean by point to point connection?
ഒരു പോയിന്റിന്ന് സെക്കൻഡ് പോയിന്റിലേക്കുള്ള കണക്ഷൻ.
Connection. Like what about the capacity of the channel there? If you have a dedicated link between the two devices, that type of connection, you can call it as point-to-point connection. Now, what about the capacity of the channel? It is entirely utilized by the two devices. It is only meant for the two devices in that network, right? So such type of connection are called point-to-point connection. Now, what is multi-point connection?
Sharing it.
Sharing takes place. That is, many nodes will be connected on a single link. So they can share the network. Two type of sharings are possible. One is the spatial sharing, and the other one is depending upon the turns, they can make use of the link. Okay, so these were the things. And one more topic we have discussed, that is nothing but the topology. Now, what do you mean by topology? Who will answer it? Shruti. What is topology?
Topology is a connection networking.
What is topology?
Physical or logical arrangement of links.
Physical or logical arrangement of
Links
of
in
what?
a network.
Of links.
Links in a
Line configuration is nothing but how the devices are connected on a link. But topology is nothing but how you can, what are the different ways of arranging the links in a network. Okay, now what are the various types of topologies we have gone through in the last class? One was the mesh topology, the other one star, okay,
bus,
bus and
ring.
Ring topology. Okay, thank you. Now, these were the topologies that we have seen in the last class. And mesh topology, I have told you are having n number of devices, and each device will have a dedicated connection to all other nodes. Each specific node, if you are considering, you are having a dedicated link between the different stations who are present in that network, right? So, what is the advantage as well as the disadvantages of mesh topology? More cabling is required in case of mesh topology. That is one of the disadvantage. Now, what is the advantage of that? Advantage is security and privacy is ensured in mesh topology. Since you have a dedicated link between two stations which it connects, the privacy or security is there. And also the traffic problem is mostly eliminated in mesh topology. And also it is very strong. It is robust, you can tell that. So if one of the link, if something happens to one link, nothing, the entire network won't fail. Okay. Now the disadvantage is more number of cabling is required, and also more number of ports you require for mesh topology. Now the other topology, what you have gone through is the star topology.
Star.
Yes, star topology. Okay. Now what is the, how you can differentiate a star from a mesh topology? Are you having a dedicated link between the stations? No, you don't have connection between the stations, but you have a connection to the central hub. You are having a dedicated link to the central hub, and that is acting as the exchange there. And whenever you want to transmit a data to one of the nodes in that network, what you will do, you will first, it will send to the exchange, and from there it is relayed to the correct destination. Okay, understanding? Star means a central hub, and many stations are connected to the central hub. Now, what are the advantages of this star topology? When you are comparing with the mesh topology, it is of less expensive. It is also robust, and you can identify the fault identification as well as the isolation. You can easily separate one, or you can identify the fault in an easy manner. But what happens if the central hub fails? If the central hub fails, then the all network will fail to work. That is the disadvantage in case of a star network. Okay, star topology. Now, the third type of topology, what you have gone through is the bus topology. Bus topology, what type of connection is it? Karthik, last class you have told. What type of connection is this one? It is multi-point connection. So multi-point means many stations will be connected to a single cable with the help of two things. One is the drop line and another one is the tap. Okay, so if you want, I mean, the transmission will take place within that cable and the nodes. Now, what is the advantage of bus topology? You can install it easily, and also cabling is less required when you are comparing with mesh or the star topology. But what happens if the main cable, if there is a fault in the main cable, and that stops all the transmission. Now, the fourth type of topology, what you have gone through is the ring topology. Ring, in the sense, all the nodes are connected in the form of a ring. The traffic is unidirectional, in the sense, you are having a dedicated link between the two devices adjacent to a single node. So, what happens, and the traffic is unidirectional in the sense, what I meant to say is, if you want to transmit a data, that data will be passed, or the message will be passed along from node to node, and until it reaches the destination, right? Now, if a particular signal is not reaching within a time, then what happens, what each node will do, they will issue an alarm signal indicating that something has happened in the link. Okay, so the message is not getting forwarded. So you can easily, identify where is the fault in that network. Okay, now if there is a break in the ring, then the entire network will fall off. So that is the advantage and the disadvantages of ring topology. Now today we will be learning other type of topology. It is already, we have crossed it, but it is just a variation of one topology, that is called it as the tree topology. Now looking into the diagram, you can tell that it is a variation of the star topology. What was the connection in star topology? You had a central hub and all the nodes were connected to that central hub. The same thing is happening in tree topology also. The thing is, all the nodes will be connected to a central hub or the active hub. You have got many hubs here, like the primary hub as well as the secondary hub. So the primary hub is active always, and the secondary hubs will be connected to the primary hub. In similar ways, so number of nodes can be connected in this form of topology. More number of stations can be connected. So tree topology is nothing but it is a variation of the star topology. Here you are having a primary hub that is active always, and all the secondary hubs or all the stations will be connected to the primary hub. Okay, so more number of devices can be connected in the case of a tree topology. Now what about an example? Example of the tree topology is like in cable TV network. They use the tree topology. What you can understand from that, you will have a main cable, you will have a main office. So the main cable from the main office is being divided into main branches. And from the main branches, you are having many small branches. And from the small branches, the connection is going to each customer's house. So the layout of a cable TV network, they make use of this tree topology. Understanding? Okay. So tree topology is nothing but just a variation of the star topology. Now, the other type is called it as the hybrid topology. Hybrid means it is a mixture of one or two types of topologies. Here in this diagram, what exactly is it? Is it a star network? Star as well as a bus DIC. Okay, so you are having a star backbone and the three bus networks are connected to it. So if more number of topologies are using for the connection purpose, then you can call it as a hybrid topology. Getting? So it is a mixture of one or two types of topologies that you call it as the hybrid topology. Okay, so we were discussing about topology. Topology is the way in which network is laid out. I mean, how the links are connected in a network. Different types are bus, ring, star, mesh, and the other combinations you can have is the tree topology and the hybrid topology. Okay, understood? Okay or not? Drishya. Okay. Right. Now, we will just move on to the next topic, and you have in your slides what I sent. I have sent you a YouTube link. You just watch it because it is consuming little time. It will take around 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm not playing in the class. You can already, I have sent you the slides. Did you see it? Anybody, did you open that slide? Huh? Yes or no? or simply I'm sending it? Yes. Okay, good. So in that I have marked it. So you just go to that link and see the topology, how it works. And I mean, you can visualize it. The animation videos, it has been shown. Okay. Now the next topic related with network is the categories of network. How networks are categorized. So networks can be categorized based on its size. Now based on the distance it covers. Now based on the area, or I mean that is nothing but the distance it covers, and based on its ownership. So many ways you can categorize the network. Now if you are categorizing the network in terms of size, you can have the three variations. One is the local area network. The other one is the wide area network. And in between these two, you have got the metropolitan area network. Short form, you can call it as LAN, WAN, and MAN. So based on the size, networks are classified into three. One is local area network, wide area network, and metropolitan area network. Now, what is this LAN? Actually, LAN covers an area less than 2 miles. 2 miles in the sense approximately 3 kilometers. So that network is laid down only to a few kilometers. And also, so that, which is only to a few kilometers, that type of network, you can call it as a local area network. But what about the wide area network? It is across the world, you can tell, or across the country, or across the continent, right? If you have a network which is connected across, or you have a connection across the whole world or country, you can call it as the wide area network. Now, between these two networks, you are having the MAN network, that is extending over a city, right? And that is actually the distance is more than 10 miles, you can tell, right? So that is called it as the metropolitan area network. So 1 mile is approximately 1.5 kilometers. So you can assume how much the distance it covers. Now, coming to the local area network, this local area network are nothing but they are the privately owned network. Privately owned network within a campus or within a single building. I told it is extending only to a few kilometers. So local area networks are such networks that is privately owned, and that can be within a building or within a campus or within a factory or whatever it is. So like if I want to communicate within 3 kilometers or my systems or the workstations, if they want to be connected, if they want to share some resources or data, that type of network, you can call it as a local area network. Now, what is the importance of networks actually? The resource sharing. So if all the station, it is used to connect PC as well as the workstations or in a company or an office in order to share resources or data. Resources in the sense it can be a hardware, it can be a software, etc. Right? And how a LAN network, how it is different from the other network is based on the three characteristics. You can restrict that. One is based on its size. As already I told, it is extending only towards a few kilometers. Now it is having its own topology. Usually the topology what we have gone through, usually the LAN networks make use of only three types: bus, ring, and star topology. These are the different types of topologies that are mainly used in a local area network. And also its transmission medium. Medium usually used are twisted cable, coaxial cable, or optical fiber cable. Okay, so that is how it differentiates from the other network. So first category, what I have told is the local area network. Local area network, they are the privately owned network, right? Within a single building or a campus. It is restricted to a few kilometers. Now the main importance of a network is to share data and resources. Now nowadays the local area network can support a data rate of 100 to 1000 Mbps. Okay, that is about local area network. Now you can see just a diagram, a single building LAN. how the connection is going and how the multiple building LAN connection is going. If you have multiple buildings which are nearby only, then if how you want to connect it as a network means the connection is shown. They are making use of ring topology, star topology, bus topology, right? So these are different types of topologies usually used in a LAN network. Okay, understood? Okay. Now, the next type of network, this is just a diagram, that is an isolated LAN connecting 12 computers to a hub. You are having 12 computers and you are connected to a hub. This way also you can connect it, right? Now, the other type of network is called as the wide area network. Wide area network. In that meaning, I mean, that sentence only, that meaning is that it is extending over large geographical areas. It can be within the country, it can be within the continent, or it can be within the world, right? And usually this WAN provides long distance transmission of data, voice or image and video information over large geographical areas, right? Now assume if a WAN, if a wide area network, if it is fully owned by a single company. I am having a company, I have various branches of that company spread across the world. If I want to connect all those companies, I am using that type of network, and if I am only owning that network, such type of network, you can call it as the enterprise network. But generally, they utilize the support of public device, public connection, or leased connection, or private connection, right? So usually it is a mixture of all these type of connections. They can be publicly take the connection from a telephone company or whatever it is, or it can be privately owned, or it can be taken in lease. Okay, understanding. So WAN is the type of network that is extending over large geographical areas. If I am owning the whole network, I am laying out that networks within this, depending on my responsibility only, everything happens means that type of network, you can call it as the enterprise network. Now, this is how the connection goes in a WAN network across the world or across the continent. You are having a network, how it has been connected. Now, you can have this WAN will be as simple as a dial-up line. You are having in your house, you may be using your internet connections and all, right? So such type of WAN, you can call it as point-to-point WAN. That is, it is nothing but it is as simple as a dial-up line which connects your computer to the internet. You're making use of modem, and that type of connection, you can call it as a point-to-point WAN. And the above diagram, the first diagram shows a switched WAN connection. Switched WAN in the sense, see, I'm having many end systems, spread across the world or the country. Now, if I want to connect all these systems, now I want to make use of a WAN backbone. And that is provided, and that connection is called it as the switched WAN. So with the help of switched WAN, I can connect each of the end system. And this end system, maybe it will be connected to some other network also. Okay, and these actually, they are used for the interconnecting your devices like routers, gateways, etc. So switched WAN means it is just it is acting as a backbone such that it connects the entire system. What all systems are if I need to connect to that network, and I can make use of a switched WAN. Okay, so that is the two types of WAN. One is point-to-point WAN and the switched WAN. I will just tell an example. See, you can see a heterogeneous network here. You can see what all the things you can see. You can see a switched WAN, you can see a point-to-point WAN, you can see routers, you can see LANs, and you can see a personal computer also. Now, what is, if I'm explaining this concept, so suppose an organization is there, okay, that is spread across towards one on the east side and the other on the west side. Now, assume it as east side and the west side. Now, east side organization, they make use of the star topology and how their network is being connected. And the west side, they make use of the bus topology network LAN. Okay, bus topology LAN. Now, these companies, they are having an owner who lives somewhere not near to them. It is somewhere in the north side, you assume. and she or she is having a computer in her home, right? And that is the thing. The president lives somewhere in the north side. Now, if that president computer, actually she wants to have or he wants to have control over all the organizations she owns. Now, what she will do, she want to have a connection between these three entities. Now, how she will be making use of that? So here, in order to have a backbone, common backbone, which connects all these three entities, I am making use of a switched WAN. Switched WAN is used. Okay, and all other LANs, they are connected to the switched WAN. Now, how these connections are going, how I can connect to the switched WAN, and that is connected with the help of point-to-point WAN. Actually, they are high-speed DSL lines that is provided either by the telephone company or by the cable TV provider. Okay, two ways you can have the point-to-point WAN connection. One is from a public company like a telephone company, or you can from a cable TV provider, you can have the point-to-point WAN connections. And all these things, they are connected to the switched WAN concepts. So if I want to create a backbone WAN, what I have to do, I am making use of a switched WAN. Actually, the switched WAN, that concept, that configuration can be provided from a private company that I'm taking for a lease. Assume I'm taking from a telephone service, I mean that network from in a lease manner. So I have taken it, I want to connect the different entities spread across the world, then that switched WAN concept will come. Understanding what is switched WAN and point-to-point WAN. So it will be as complex as a switched WAN, or it can be as simple as a point-to-point WAN. And they are nothing but they are the high-speed point-to-point WAN. They are the dial-up line that connects your home computer to the internet or to the switched WAN. Okay, hope that WAN concept is clear for you. WAN are nothing but they are the wide area networks extending over large geographical areas. That can be either publicly owned or privately owned, or in a leased manner, I can own that. Right? And if it is fully owned by a private company, then such type of networks, you can call it as the enterprise network. And generally, switched WAN concept comes there, and also the point-to-point WAN comes there. Okay, now the third category is called it as the MAN, Metropolitan Area Network. What is the meaning? It is extending over an entire city. You can see that it is a bigger version of LAN. You can just see the diagram. It is a bigger version of LAN. If I want, if I'm having a company and that is spread across the city, if I want to have a connection between all the companies, then that type of network, you can call it as a metropolitan area network. And the service can either be wholly owned by the private company, or it can be the service provided from a public company. Two ways you can have the, it can be operated. One is publicly owned, and other one is it can be fully owned by the person who is owning that company. Okay, so these are the different types of networks. Generally, how you can classify it. One is the local area network, the other one is the wide area network, and the third one is the metropolitan area network. Okay, once again, I will tell, networks can be classified based on its size, based on its ownership, based on the distance it covers, everything. Many different ways are there. Now, generally, I can classify it into local area network, wide area network, and metropolitan area network. Within a building, if you want to have a connection between the systems, that type of network, you can call it as a local area network. That is only extended towards only a few kilometers. Now, if you want to have coverage over large geographical areas, that type of network, you can call it as the wide area network. Now, if it is within that, the middle of that type of network, that it is extending over a city, you can call it as the metropolitan area network. Understood? These three things, the three categories, general categories of networks. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Now you have a combination of networks. That is called it as the internetworks. Don't confuse with the internet what you are making use of. This is, I will tell what is that also. So internetworks. Internetworks means if you have two or more networks and if you want to connect it, such type of network you can call it as an internetwork or simply internet. See in the diagram, you can see you are having many LANs, a WAN connection is there, a metropolitan area network connection is there. So if all the different types of networks or two or more networks, if I want to connect it, such type of networks forms an internetwork or a internet. Okay, now how it differs from the internet? That is, it is nothing but it is a worldwide network. It is a specific worldwide network. You can tell that this internet, it is just a collaboration of hundreds or thousands of internetworks, interconnected networks. These two things, don't confuse it with, if two or more networks, if you are just connecting it, that will form an internetwork. And the internet, what is the nothing but that is a specific worldwide network. Okay, it is a communication system and that is extending, actually it is just a collaboration of thousands of internetworks. Okay, and that they will actually this internet has brought a wealth of information to our fingertips and organized it for our use. Okay, so these are just the classification, how you can differentiate the internetwork and the internet, what you are using, specific worldwide network, what you are using it. Right? Okay. So categories of network, LAN, MAN, and WAN, and a combination of all these things, you can call it as the internetwork. Now the next topic, what you are going to see is called it as the protocols and standards. Protocols and standards. In the first day onwards, I am telling what is protocol and all. Can anybody answer what is a protocol? Set of rules. Okay, set of rules. See, if you are having a network or in a computer network, actually what happens is you are having communication between the two entities in a system. Actually, in a computer network, whenever I'm considering a computer network, actually how the communication happens, communication is happening between the entities that is present in a physical system. Actually, entity, what I mean is the one who can send and receive the information. Now, examples of entities is it can be an application program, or it is a software package, or it can be an email software, or it can be a file transfer packages. So all these are called the entities. Okay, so if the entities wanted to communicate simply like that, they won't be able to communicate. Actually, this physical system, it consists of one or more entities. Now, if you want to have the communication between the two entities, you should follow some rules. And they are nothing but, they are called it as the protocol. The protocol defines what is to be communicated, when is to be communicated, and how it is to be communicated. So simply, we can tell that protocols are synonymous with rule. You have to follow some rules in order to have communication. In the first class, when I explained about data communication system, I told two devices can be connected, right? If you want to have communication between the two devices, then they have to follow some rules. And that rules, you can call it as a protocol. Now, this protocol has got some key elements. They are classified it into syntax, semantics, and time. Three things are there. One is syntax, semantics, and time. Syntax means the order in which your data is presented. What form, what is the format of the data? Whether the first 8-bit shows the source address, or the next 8-bit shows the data, or the next 8-bit shows the destination. So all these things are deciding in that protocol. Okay, so that is called it as the syntax, the order or the format of data, how you are going to present. Now, semantics is what is the meaning of each blocks? If you have different bits or a group of bits, what does each block represent? Or will I get an indication what route I have to take to forward my packets? Or does it contains the destination address? All that is called it as the semantics. Semantics is dealing with the content, what each block contains, identification of the content of that data. Now the third one is called it as the timing. What you can, when you are going to send and how fast you can send. That is called it as the timing option. Suppose if I am from the center side, if I can transmit the data or I can process the data with 10 Mbps, and if the receiver can process the data with 1 Mbps, then what is the disadvantage? What happens? The overwhelming happens at the receiver side. That means the receiver won't be able to accept the data. The data might be lost. Okay, so that all things are deciding with the timing protocol, the key element of a protocol called the timing. It will decide how much data you have to transfer it and how fast you can transfer it. Okay, so these are called it as the protocol. Protocol are synonymous with the rule. The protocols, you can call it as set of rules. If you want to have communication, you have to follow some protocols, right? And the key elements are syntax, semantics, and timing. Syntax, it represents the order or the format of the data. It is dealing with the format of the data, what you are going to send. Semantics means what is the meaning of each block in that data. And timing, it refers to two characteristics. One is how fast the data can be sent and when it is to be sent. All it is dealing with the key element time. Okay, so that is about the protocol. Now, the next thing is called it as the standards. Standards means, what is a standard actually? Actually, it is nothing but some guidelines that is given to a vendor or a manufacturer or a government sector so that they can have interconnectivity in today's marketplace. They are assigning. So what are the rules or things that I have to follow if I am putting my product in my market? Okay, whoever be the individual manufacturer, I have to make use of a model for the development that makes the possible for the product to work. I am inventing a product. I want that product to work. I have to follow some guidelines. Okay, so that is called it as the standards. Now, generally, you can have two types of standards. One is de facto standard and the de jure. De jure means by law, by some regulation, you are accepting that standard, right? But de facto standard are nothing but by the continuous usage of that product, you are forming some standard. And that is called it as the de facto standard. Now, you just understand that standards are nothing but they are some guidelines. So two types of standards. One is by you are having a regulatory body of that and everybody passes that standard. And if they want to use that, that is nothing but that is de jure standard. And de facto means by fact. You don't have any specific regulatory bodies in that. By fact, you are accepting that, okay, this is the standard that I can use it. I am making use of that. So that is called it as the de facto standard. Now you just understand it, but it is not there in your syllabus, but I'm just telling, whenever I tell some standards, you should understand what it means actually. Now again, the de facto, it is proprietary and non-proprietary. Proprietary means you can call it as closed standard, that I am inventing a product. I want to utilize that product. I have to follow some rules or I have to make some standards for my product, and it should not be available to the public in a group of my proprietary standard. Closed standard, the one which is involved only in a commercial organization, right? Not proprietary means the one which is open to public. Okay, now you have got various the de facto standards. The examples are TCP/IP, Windows, then Ethernet, Unix, etc. And the different organizations also you have got, that ISO, IEEE, EIA, ANSI, ITUT. Actually, these are the standard organization. They are having some regulatory bodies. They will tell, okay, IEEE is meant for the professional. It is a professional body chapter or standard. ISO is, it is all over. It is for the product to work. I mean, we are following some standard. ITUT, it is for the telecommunication thing. So these are the different types of organization that specifies, okay, these standards you have to follow if you want to on the particular thing. Okay, just understand what is the standard, right? So today I have told two concepts. One is the categories of network, generally three categories: LAN, MAN, and WAN. Okay, and also I have defined the difference between protocols and standards. Protocols are synonymous with rule, and standards are agreed upon rules. You are framing some rules, and you are everybody is agreeing to that rule, and you are following that. That is called it as the standard. It is a guideline that is provided for each manufacturer to use their product. Okay, understood these two concepts? Yes or no? Vaishna K is there? Vaishna?
Yes, miss.
Yes. You joined late. Then Jyotish Shibu?
Yes, miss.
Yes, you are there. Okay. So in the next hour by 11:45, I'll be conducting a quiz. So you will be getting it in your WhatsApp group. I hope you all are there in STM2K17. One group is there, no, for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. I'll be sending the link in that group. You have to answer it in the next hour. Okay. So just recollect the things what you have learned up to today's class. Okay. Now, if you want to ask me anything, you can just ask. How many of you have seen the PPT, what I have sent? Each one, Afla, did you read it? Did you go through it?
Yes, miss.
Yes. Okay. Ajmina?
Yes, miss.
Yes. I'm not taking the attendance. I'm just asking you whether you have gone through the textbook as well as the slides. Did everyone went through that? Okay. So today, Friday, next week also, mostly by next week, 1 or 2 hours, we will be completing the first unit. Shall I conduct a test for the first unit next week?
Okay.
No answer. Huh?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Monday?
Monday, not Monday, once I complete it. I need 2 to 3 hours to complete first module. നിങ്ങൾ പഠിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയാ പറയുന്നത്. Saturday, Sunday, go through the subject. Okay. If time permits, once I finish the first unit, I'll be conducting a unit test.
Okay.
Neeraj, keto.
Okay.
പോയോ?
ഇല്ല മിസ്.
നീരജ് കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഉണ്ട്. പഠിച്ചു തുടങ്ങിയോ? വായിച്ചു നോക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. Okay. Okay, thank you. We will meet in the 5th hour after 45 minutes. We will be just meeting it. So that time you'll be ready with your phone if you are not making use of the phone for the class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, miss.